Hey guys, welcome back to Recover Your Arch. I'm Coach Brian, Z Health Movement Specialist and Certified Trainer. We are going to work today on assessing and reassessing, of course, kind of like we've done in the first two in the series, but also working on some of the nerves that are really key and important in having good sensory and motor activation in the muscles in the bottom of the foot and sensory awareness of everything kind of in the lower leg. So when the brain has good sensory information, it tends to improve motor output and improves motor control. So we want to kind of think of the concept sensory, can you feel it before can you move it? And so if sensory improves, if you can feel it better, you can usually move it better. So we're working on brain-body connection and that the nerves that connect your brain to body. So coming out of the spinal cord and then going down the back of the leg, we have basically a nerve splits and goes down behind the knee and then comes down on either side of the ankle. On the medial side or inside, right under that inside ankle bone, we have the tibial nerve, and that innervates our calf muscles in the arch, so really important for recovering your arch. On the sensory side, we have the sural nerve comes down the lateral side of the leg, gives us sensory information about this lateral side of the leg, and then also the lateral ankle. And that one comes right down behind and underneath that lateral ankle bone, lateral malleolus. So what we're going to do is do a test and then do a nerve glide, a gentle tensioning technique for the nerve, and then come back and reassess the movement. So the movements today I want you to work on, a couple that we've done before. We're going to start working on the left tibial and sural nerve, and so we're going to do that 90-degree step and foot turn. So what I want you to pay attention to is the stance leg, or this, in this case, left foot. What's going on? Can we get the arch nice and high, and then can we also press it down as you step 90 degrees and out to the side? So that's the first one. Second one, we're going to get into a little bit of a lunge position, staggered stance. Get up onto the ball of foot on the lead foot if that's pain-free, and then we're going to gently tip from the inside to the outside. So again, working on feeling that arch get bigger and then sort of dropping and creating a little bit of stretch as we go to the inside of it. So does that feel amazing? Could it improve? And if it could improve, we're going to work on the nerve glides, and then hopefully those help give you a better motor activation. So we're going to go ahead and go onto the sural nerve. So on this one, we want a little bit of kind of a flexion in the hip. We're going to put that foot forward. We're then going to flex a little bit through the low back. We're then going to dorsiflex or pull the toes up. From there, you might feel a gentle stretch. With these, we want to go to a max intensity of 3 out of 10. So if 10 was, oh my goodness, I really feel the stretch, I don't want it to go anymore, it's super intense, we only want a 3 out of 10, so you really just kind of barely should feel it. From the lumbar flexion, we can also add in some lumbar rotation towards this foot, so we can rotate towards it and do a little bit of gentle movement or flossing through that low back. From there, come back to neutral, and then we're going to work on adding more inversion in the foot. So the knee is locked, I'm still in my forward bend or hip hinge, and then I'm also pressing out into inversion. Once I have inversion, I feel a little bit more tension on that nerve, especially in the lower leg down towards the ankle. And from there, we can hold that inversion in the foot and then do a little bit of like gas pedal action, pumping into plantar flexion and then dorsiflexion. Nice. Come out of that and let's retest. So see what your 90-degree turn and step feels like. Again, focusing on that stance foot. For me, feels a little bit better. Have a little bit of almost a more relaxed position over here as I step. Feels better in the ankle and the lower leg. From there, go into the lunge. Let's retest that foot in the lunge position. We're going to lift the heel, get into ball of foot, and then gently shift from inside to outside. So pinky toe metatarsal, little toe towards the big toe metatarsal. and that one feels better for me as well. So if you're keeping a training journal, you can note that, hey, sural nerve on this side seems to be one that I want to give some healthy stimulus, and do that every day. These are nerve glides really to keep nerves mobile, healthy, to maximize the benefits from it. They don't take very long, just a few seconds once you learn how to set them up, but going through and practicing daily. On this left side, let's keep working, but go to the tibial nerve. So now, very similar setup. I'm going to keep that left foot forward, go into some hinging in the hips, a little bit of hip flexion, low back flexion, so I'm rounding through the low back slightly. With this one, still going to pull the toes up, keeping the knee locked. The difference is we're going to evert the foot or tip the angle of the foot to the outside instead of to the inside. Once I have that, we could do a little bit of gas pedal again. And then we can also pull those toes up, keep the E version, and then add in some rotation in the low back towards that side. Remembering to keep these at 3 out of 10 for the intensity. So be gentle with it, especially if it's brand new. Then let's go back to our 90-degree step. And again, feeling, can I sort of press the arch into the floor, collapse it, and then reestablish it as I weight shift back to standing. And then same thing on the lunge. How does that one feel? Is there less pain, less discomfort? If you had any starting out, does the motor control and just those muscles in the ankle, does it feel more active? Or if it doesn't, maybe we need to modify the tibial nerve glide and set up in a different sequence, or might have gone with too much intensity. So again, remember to be super gentle with these. We're going to go to the other side, do a quick test. So get your baseline established first. Always assess something so that we're not guessing. We're able to reassess and see either improvement or sometimes lack of improvement, depending on what stimulus your brain needs and how you're going about introducing that stimulus, right? So let's go into right foot forward now, and we're gonna load up on that ball of foot, do your lunge, weight shifting from the inside to the outside of that ball of foot, and get an idea, how does that feel? You could grade yourself 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 if you wanted to, and then we'll go into that sural nerve glide. So the outside of the right ankle, the right foot's gonna come forward. You're gonna go ahead and hinge, hip hinge, drop into a little flexion and bend in the low back. We're gonna pull that foot up, and then let's go into inversion a couple times. So tilting, big toe up, toes are still pulled towards you in dorsiflexion, and then let's go into a couple gas pedals in that foot, and then pull the toes up. And if it's still at a 3 out of 10 or less, you can add in a little bit of rotation in the low back. Nice. And then of course we go ahead and reassess. We're going to do that step, 90-degree step, and go back into your lunge. Ball of foot, weight shifting from the outside to the inside of the foot. And feels a little bit better for me, so we know that right side might want to keep working on some of that sural nerve gliding. Then we're going to go to tibial next. So we're going to go ahead and put that right foot forward again. We're going to hinge, flexion in the hip, drop into a little bit of flexion in the low back, pull the foot up, and this time we're going to evert or swivel the bottom of the foot away from your midline. Do a couple gas pedal actions with that foot. We could go through a little pulsing through the knee too. It's another way to change that sequence. And then you can also add in some rotation towards that leg through the low back. And then we'd go ahead and reassess. So get a feel for same, better, or worse in that right foot. It feels a little bit better for me. So again, one to note in the training journal, hey, right side tibial nerve glides could be a good daily go-to. These are amazing in the warm-up or the cool-down if you are going to do like a full-blown training session. And then of course we have our reassessment, ball of foot lunge. So weight shift and check that one. You could go for a walk, especially if you've seen improvements after this. Sometimes walking gait can be a good way to cement those newfound results and that nice new motor learning and motor activation into your nervous system. Hope this helped. coming at you with one more part 4, and this is a really important one for strengthening some more key muscles in that lower leg. We'll see you there.